capitalize on
I just think the
scenes.
business model of major labels is impossible to work for a punk band. You know what I mean? Like, every so often you get a band who makes it work because they have a hit, and it just happens.
Like Fall Out Boy or something.
Yeah, they did. Like, a band, even though I don't really know anything about their music, I know that Avenged Sevenfold had like a hit on a major label, and so it worked. You know what I mean? That record just as easily could have flopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I never heard that major label record, but I remember I had some metalhead friends that when they heard it were like, "This sucks. They sold out. This major label record sucks."
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because they sold like a gazillion records to kids who had never heard of them before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think the major label thing is like, you're either going to get lucky or you're not going to stay there.
So it's
You know what
almost.
I mean?
Do you think it's better if you're looking for a career to aim for, indie label or like sort of we talked about with Jeff and Liam about like having labels that are catered towards a specific kind of music almost. Does it make more sense to stay with those than it does to look for longevity? Or
Man, I couldn't tell you because my band's been on like 5 or 6 different labels. 6, 5. We were on Eyeball first, which was great. It was just like, you know, one of my best friends like just put out our record, and it was small, but he like worked his ass off for it. And then we ended up on Victory, which everybody knows was like kind of a nightmare for us, but at the same time, like they sold more of that record than anybody's ever sold. So like obviously they did a great job. They
right.
did, like an amazing job. It's just there were
I thought
things
that was pretty interesting that you had Tony on your DVD.
Yeah,
It's kinda
well, I
weird.
mean, he is an important part of our history. Like, even though there were times when he scared the crap out of me, and other times where I just couldn't understand why he did the things he did, we're like, well, you know, like, without Tony, like, it wouldn't be the same band, you know? So,
Right.
we wanted to, anybody that's contributed to the band, we wanted to have
I just
on
thought
there.
that was so interesting
Yeah.
that you watch that DVD and there's all these people that sort of have like negative things to say about the experience, or you guys had negative experiences with them, and they're still on the DVD. I just thought
Yeah.
that was really interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing is, like, you know, people are saying negative things about him, and he put out the DVD, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
But I don't know, I like that about the DVD. It was very honest. And like, if I'm being honest, I can't say that everything about being on Victory was negative at all. Like, there are times when I thought, like, Tony might be a genius. Like, there are definitely times when I thought that he's, like, a mad genius. But I don't know.
Scary.
Yeah, scary, evil genius. No, just kidding. But,
That's the only thing I'm running.
so, yeah.
Scary, evil,
Scary, evil
part.
genius. No. It wouldn't be surprising, man. But what do I have to lose at this point? And then we were on Island, which was just like very strange for us because the label that we signed to were huge believers in us. Like, everybody there loved us. They treated us so well. And when War All the Time came out, they pushed it and did such a great job. And then they all went to work at Warner Brothers. Like, everybody left the label. And from there, you just see that's when like the record just started just like nosediving because there was nobody there left who even knew who Thursday were. They brought in a new staff, and the staff signed like Pink and Outkast, like all these bands that like that staff like did not care about Thursday at all.
Right.
So then City by the Light Divided came out, and they heard it and they were like, "What's this artsy record?" And we were like, "Oh, we're totally fucked." You know what I mean? But then we did a split on Temporary Residence, which is like total indie label, like, but not just like independent, like total indie rock. You know what I mean? Like Explosions in the Sky and Mono and Envy.
Right.
We did that split on there, and that was a great experience too, to just see a completely different business model. A kind of like, yeah, we know that this and this and this could help sell records, but that's not what we do. We do this. We like doing this. We put a lot of care into everything from the packaging to who does the press to who carries the records, and we sell a certain amount, you know? We know we could sell more, but we do things the way we believe and trust in them. And that was great. You know what I mean? That was like one of the first times where I felt like, this is the kind of label we should be at. Like, and I'm still like, one of my best friends is the guy who owns that label. You know what I mean? Like, every time we go to do something, I call him and ask what he thinks of it. And it's great to have people that you feel like, you know, this is somebody, he could be in the band. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
instead he's putting out the record. Like, that's a great feeling. And he was actually a big part of the process with us, like, helping decide on Epitaph to go as a, you know, as a bigger indie label. You know, we brought him, I would always bring him, like, all the labels that we're interested in, who we were meeting with, and discuss it with him. And he'd be like, I don't know, man, Epitaph, like, nobody has anything bad to say about them. Apparently they always pay on time, you know, they don't screw people and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about just bands, but as a band, you work with so many people that need to get paid from the label, from your producer to, you know, just the guy who makes your art, the guy, you know, all those people need to get paid from the label on time. So it's like really nice, like when you just feel like a good honest business is being had.
It's
you know
really
what I mean?
strange to think that your label would not pay people on time.
Oh yeah, it's always shenanigans. Always. I'm sure the Dillinger guys have had all kinds of shenanigans at different labels too, but it's like, it's just funny. At some point, you start to realize as much as you think it's punk, it's not about business at all. Like at the same time, you own a small business, whether you like it or not, and
everybody's got to eat at some point.
And there's a way to conduct that business with dignity and integrity, like Fugazi or somebody. You know what I mean? They have a real business. Fugazi has like a serious business, and they just do it honestly. You know what I mean? Like that's all you really need to do at the end of the day is have an honest business, and it feels really good.